A Halfling Sonder, Sven's Story, by Illyria Valischin. A look of worry and concern crosses her face. I have had to send out for a bunch more of the ingredients. I just hope it doesn't take too long, or the village might have a bit more of an issue. Worry crosses over his face. Oh, why's that? Well, the longest distance is about 2 days' run from here, and I don't know if they will have all that I need. She looks over at her shelves. Not to mention those beetles seem to be devouring our homes pretty fast, like a massive colony came in and just took up residency. Sven nods his head. Do you know which areas are the worst off? Seems to be where you told me yesterday, near Mr. Glum's restaurant. She pauses a moment, looking over his hands once more. Mr. Glum's restaurant, he whispers. Somewhere from around his shop anyways. He has the worst so far, she admits to him. With a slight bob of his head he replies, Thank you for the salve. I will bring by any supplies I can find as payment. Peach Blossom would be much appreciated. She quickly spouts off. I will keep an eye out. He acknowledges her simple request, then leaves the shop, determined to figure out where these little pests have appeared from. Walking the short distance back to the tannery, he heads around to the back corner of the shop, then glances over to Mr. Glum's. Looking over both corners, he can tell that each one is bowing rather badly under the weight. He even gives Mr. Glum's a cautious shake, wanting to know if the corner was the main source of the infestation. As he pushes against it, the feeling of splintering wood ripples into his hand. Shaking his head at the wall, he follows it down to the dirt, where he begins to dig at the foundation of the restaurant, looking for any major openings or tunnels into the wood. Unfortunately, the more he digs and uncovers, the more the building looks as though it could just crumble apart in a mere soft breeze. His hands trembling now from pawing at the ground, Sven looks around for anything that might help in his endeavor to uncover the source. But all he manages to find is some split pieces of wood piled against the back of the restaurant. Picking one up, he examines it to see if it can help. Satisfied with that piece, he walks back to the hole by the wall and continues to dig, using the plank as a makeshift shovel. By the time he has uncovered the complete foundation, Sven is standing in a hole up to his hips. Most of the wood and soil are covered in the signs of a large-scale infestation. The beetles somewhat moving in and out of the newly exposed area disgusts him. Frustration swelling inside, he takes the board and gives a few hearty smacks against the wall, wishing to kill off as many as he can. Feeling his hands and arms weaken more from the day's work, he lets out a sigh of exasperation as he heads towards the front of the tannery. Inside the shop, he sees that Mr. Leatherthimble is still hard at work scraping another hide. He gives a small wave while he walks over to the counter to pick up the rest of the beetle repellent, then returns to the corner of the restaurant, thinking to himself, what could I use to put this into the center of the nest? Looking around the building, he stumbles across a discarded box of damaged straws. Squatting down, he dumps the box onto the ground and begins sifting through them, linking together the ones that are the least damaged. As he finishes up, he hops back down into the hole. He finds a larger hole by his knee and begins to shove the makeshift tubing in, pushing it deeper into the wall, feeling it bend and twist, until it just stops about halfway through the string. Giving a slight jab to see if it is just a temporary block, he finds that it just stops. After pulling the straws back a little, he pops open the tiny bottle. The putrid smell of the contents immediately hits him. A slight gag escapes while he starts to pour it into the thin, makeshift tubing. Taking great care in not spilling the liquid, he watches it closely as he pours it down the straws, a process that takes quite a bit longer than what he would have liked to endure. As the flow slowly goes down, he becomes more aware of the ache in his hands. A small tremble starts as the last little bit slowly trickles its way in. As it disappears, he pulls the straws slowly out, making sure that none of the poison drips out. Thank you for listening to my story. If you liked it, please like and subscribe and hit that bell for notifications.